The following is a WRHU special program. If you want talk, games, and fun all rolled into one, well, you've come to the right place. This is The Game Show, where host Bradley Clarke and his special guests talk about the world of television game and competition shows. But Bradley's guests aren't here to just talk. They came to play a game as well. What will today's topic be? What game does Bradley have planned? There's only one way to find out.
It's time to start the show.
You heard the man. Welcome to The Game Show. And here's your host, the Bradster himself, Bradley Clarke.
Thank you so much, Austin Angelo, and welcome to another episode of The Game Show. Now, if you're a true game show fan, you should know that September 4th, 2017 marks the 45th anniversary of the longest-running game show in television history. That's right, The Price is Right is turning 45 years young, and to commemorate the occasion, I'll be talking with someone who knows a thing or two about the words "come on down."
Rich, will you fetch us another player, please?
Be happy to, Bob. Let's try to find Barbara Mendoza. Come on down. You're the next contestant on The Price is Right.
Barbara is a sailor.
How about a new microwave oven? A GE Profile Microwave Convection Oven, 1.3 cubic feet of cooking space, sensor cooking controls, 10 power levels, and smart rack for 2 cooking levels. Or, Christy, I'll bet you'd like to win a new car! And this showcase, where we discover how Leonardo finally finished painting his Mona Lisa, can be yours if the price is right.
Here it comes from the WRHU studios in the Lawrence Herbert School of Communications, radio's #1 program for your fix of game and competition shows, the fabulous 6th episode of The Game Show. And now on the line is my special guest, the former announcer of The Price is Right, Rich Fields. How are you, Rich?
Good, Bradley Clarke, come on down.
Yes, my dream has already come true.
Good. All right, we're done. Have a great day. We'll talk to you later.
Take care, Rich. Now, can you believe it? The Price is Right is celebrating its 45th anniversary.
Yeah, it was brought to my attention the other day. I was tweeting something, and somebody said, hey, do you know today was the last day of Bob Barker's taping on The Price is Right back in, wow, what would that have been, 07?
Yeah, 2007.
And I said, oh, my God, I can't believe it. And they said, yeah, it's actually 45 years for The Price is Right. So, it's the longest-running game show in television history.
That's right. Yeah, actually, Bob Barker's second-to-last taping date is actually my birthday. I turned 10 the day that he taped his second-to-last show.
Well, you're making me feel really old right now, Bradley.
I don't mean to at all.
No worries.
So I know that you've been a big fan of The Price is Right ever since you were a child.
Yeah.
What was your earliest memories of watching this great game show?
Well, my mom has videotape of me at about 9 or 10 years old standing in front of a television set in Avon, Ohio, with a black hairbrush in her hand saying, "A new car!" And before that, I was really a Bob Barker fan, Bradley. I was more of a fan of Bob Barker's and then became a fan of The Price is Right. I was a fan of Bob Barker's from a show called Truth or Consequences. It was a black and white show that aired on NBC. Truth or Consequences.
That's right.
Hello there. We've been waiting for you. It's time to play Truth or Consequences. And now, here he is, ladies and gentlemen, the star of our show, Bob Barker.
I was a big fan of him from that, and so when he got Price in
72.
What was it, 72?
72,
yeah. You know better than I do. When he got Price in 72, that was great, so I immediately started watching that as well. So just a really big fan of Mr. Barker's, and still am.
Me as well. I consider myself a true game show fan. I say I study the genre. I call it game showology. So the study of game
I like
shows.
That.
You know, it's funny. You mentioned how you used to go around and saying a new car and that stuff. I was 10 years old when I first started watching The Price is Right. I got a little bit of a late start because, to be honest, back in the day, I didn't really know it was on since it was on during when I was in school. But when I first saw the show, when it was one of my school vacations, I said, I have to watch this show. I heard about it. I have to watch The Price is Right. And from the moment that you said, here it comes, I was hooked. Just hooked. And everywhere I would go, like I was at the mall, and I'd go by the staircase and say, "Come on down." Or when I was, how was it? Was that good?
Yeah, that was good.
Oh, thank you. I've been practicing for years.
That's what it takes. That's what you got to do.
That's right. Or like you said, I'd be at some place with like a garage. I'd say, "A new car, a new car, a new car." It's just great.
Yeah.
How was that?
Yeah, you got to practice the other stuff too, like a lovely étagère.
Yes.
You got to do that kind of stuff too, the regular old fee item kind of stuff.
Right. I think people forget that they always think it's just a new car, but there's always the small items too, like Pepto-Bismol.
Right, exactly.
Or
right. Exactly. Velveeta cheese.
Can't forget about those. Actually, speaking of voice work, are there any vocal warm-ups that you prefer to use before doing any sort of announcing?
About, above, across, after, against, among, around, at, before, behind, beside, between, beyond, by, down, during, except for, from, in, into, now, of, off, on, over, past, through, throughout, under, until, till, up, with.
All right.
That's all the prepositions in alphabetical order. That's a good tongue twister. It's a good vocal warm-up for you.
I was a drama major in high school, and I've done my fair share of vocal warm-ups, but that's a new one for me, I've got to say.
Nah, it's the old nun in grade school. In order for me to pass a class, she said, "You come back tomorrow, you memorize all the prepositions in alphabetical order and do them inside of 10 seconds, and I'll give you a D." So I worked all night to get that done.
Did you get the D, or was she so impressed that she gave you a higher grade?
Well, I was failing, so she was going to pass me with a D, so I got a D.
Hey, that's good enough. You passed.
Right.
So one of the greatest game show stories I've ever heard was that you attended a taping of The Price is Right when Johnny Olson, the late, great Johnny Olson, was the announcer. And you actually asked him how you can get his job as the announcer of The Price is Right. So as an aspiring announcer growing up, what did Johnny Olson mean to you?
Johnny was everything. I was always very attached to voices on TV, from old television shows. Ephraim Zimbalist Jr. was in an old show called The FBI. I may be dating myself, and a lot of folks at Hofstra probably haven't heard of it, but the announcer on the end, The FBI, a Quinn Martin production.
The FBI, a Quinn Martin, Warner Brothers production, starring Ephraim Zimbalist Jr.
I would hear that. I'd hear Mayberry, RFD, I'd hear that guy, starring Andy Griffith. I'd, for some reason, hang on to these voices, and I would mimic them and repeat them constantly. I'd be the guy in the back of class in parochial school. The nun would be at the front. She'd be like, "Mr. Fields, you want to share that with the rest of the class?" Because I'd be in back there doing my own show, making everybody crack up. So Johnny Olson, for me, was it. He was the epitome of show announcers for me. Once I transitioned from Truth or Consequences with Bob to The Price is Right with Bob, I was like, who is this guy? I loved his voice. I loved everything he did or said. He was the one that coined "Come On Down." That was never in a script. That was never written down. They were just names, Joe Blow.
It used to be stand up, right?
Yeah.
A fortune in fabulous prizes may go to these people today if they know when the price is right. Sandy Flournoy, stand up. Paul Levine, stand up. Connie Gunnell, stand up. Myra Carter, stand up. And all four of you, come on down. You're the first contestants on The New Price is Right.
And one day, Johnny Olson said, Bradley Clarke, come on down. And it worked. And Bob looked at him, and Roger Dobkowitz, the executive producer, looked at him, and it was like, that sounded pretty cool.
A fortune in fabulous prizes may go to these people today if they know when the price is right. Connie Howard, come on down. Gary Harvey, come on down. Irene Woods, come on down. Vanny Isaacson, come on down. You're the first four contestants on The New Price is Right.
Yeah.
And it stuck from that day forward. So Johnny was it. Johnny held the record for announcing the most network game shows in a single season, a record which I broke back in 2006.
When you did Game Show Marathon, right?
That's exactly right. I announced for 7 different network game show titles in a single season.
Here it comes! From Television City, it's TV's most exciting hour of fantastic prizes. For our first episode of Game Show Marathon, let's play The Price is Right! It's a change of wardrobe as we play Let's Make a Deal. Tonight, we go back to the 50s and play Beat the Clock. These 3 players are after big bucks. bucks. But they'll have to avoid the whammy as they play the most exciting game of their lives. From CBS Television City in Hollywood, it's time to press your luck. Aces are high, deuces are low. Play your cards right and win the dough on Card Sharks. Get ready to match the stars. George Foreman, Kathy Griffin, Bruce Valanche, Adrian Curry, Adam Carolla, and Betty White as we play the star-studded big money match game. It's time for the Family Feud. Introducing the Najimy family. Kathy, Dan, Alexandra, Tom, and Mona ready for action. Playing against the Roderick family. Brandy, Debbie, Walter, Jason, and Betty. On your marks, let's start the Family Feud.
And now, since Price, I went on to do Wheel of Fortune.
100. Hillary, here's thousands of reasons to celebrate. $100,000.
Plus, I did the Florida Lottery's Flamingo Fortune.
When this wheel stops, one of these 30 lottery players will be playing for a chance to win $500,000. From Universal Studios, Florida, it's the Florida Lottery's Flamingo Fortune.
So I've got 9 different game shows under my belt now.
What do you hope is number 10?
Oh, gosh, I think those days are probably done and gone for me. I don't aspire to do it anymore. I'm a kind of guy that's been there, done that. I mean, not that I wouldn't do it if somebody came to me with a pile of cash, but I'm just saying I've kind of moved on from that. And I don't know. I'd never say never because the world revolves in a crazy way, but you never know. I don't know.
I hope to hear you one more time on a game show. I love your voice. And as I said before, you were the one that hooked me to The Price is Right because that was the first thing I heard.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. I still get letters and emails and stuff from people, you know, hey, I saw you, and they know the exact date and time, and I came to the show. I waited, you know, sure, I wanted to see Bob, but thanks so much for shaking my hand at the end of shows, because I used to do that. You know, nobody ever did that. I'd stand there on stage, and hordes of people, as they were walking out, you know, they'd come up for autographs or shake your hand, and I was always a big fan of the fans.
Right. Well, what I also loved about Price is Right was, you know, a lot of the times on these game shows, the announcers, you'd hear them at the beginning, you'd hear them at the end, when the prizes came out, or sometimes when the contestants were introduced. But what the Price is Right did was they involved the announcers in showcase skits, or even with a bit of a banter between the announcer and Bob, or the announcer and Drew.
Right.
Do you think involving the announcer in these little moments made the Price is Right even more special?
Oh, absolutely. I believe so. That's for sure. It kind of went away during the latter years of the Roddy days. Rod and Bob had a falling out, and there was no more seeing Rod that much at all, certainly not in showcases. I think at the mid-break of the show, there would be, was it the last come on down or the second to last come on down where they'd show the announcer, Rod, what's the next name on your list? And they'd show Rod, and he'd say, Bob, it's Bradley Clarke, come on down. And that's pretty much where it was left at the end of Bob and Rod's reign. And then Rod passed away, and it took me about a year or so before Bob started to lighten up again about that. He didn't put me in showcases, but he started showing me here and there, and he'd wish me happy birthdays, and sometimes he'd pull somebody out of the audience who told him during commercials that, oh, you know, Bob, I always wanted to be the announcer, The Price is Right, and work with you. And so here we'd come, 3, 2, 1, we'd be back on the air, and he'd say, Rich, before we go any further, there's a young man in the audience who wants to do your job. Do you mind? And, you know, certainly they'd show me. I said, not at all, Bob, bring him on up. And so the kid would come running up, and I'd hand him the thing, and Bob would say, what's your name? Jeremy. Jeremy, what's the next name on your list? And they'd show him. So I'd get a lot of camera time like that. But it wasn't really till the Drew Carey days that the announcer being shown in skits came back to full fruition. And that was certainly a blast. I mean, I had a ball with that. Drew loved me. We got along great. I was a great sidekick for him. We traveled all over. We'd be between shows, and he'd be like, you want to go to Vegas tonight? I said, yeah, I don't have anything packed. You don't need anything. Let's just get on the jet and go. And so we'd take a private jet out of Van Nuys Airport to Vegas, and we were thick as thieves. It was a lot of fun.
See, I love this behind-the-scenes Price is Right stuff. This is what I live for.
Oh, I could go on for hours. My dressing room was across the hall from Bob's at Television City at Stage 33, and it was there across the hall. That was Johnny Olson's dressing room. It was Rod's dressing room. And when I got there, they actually asked me, do you want to go down to dressing room row, you know, where all the soap operas have their dressing rooms and everybody? And I said, oh, God, no. I want this little, it was probably, honest to God, Bradley, it was probably 15 feet long by about 8 feet wide.
Wow.
It was the sofa in it damn near took up the entire room, and there was a bathroom adjacent to that with mirrors where you could put on makeup and stuff. And I said, no, I want Johnny and Rod's dressing room. It was right across the hall from Bob's, and it worked out great because anytime Bob needed me, you know, bam, 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 he'd just knock on the door and come in, and it made me really accessible to him, which I liked a lot. But then after Bob left, I didn't have any affinity for the room anymore, and they actually moved me upstairs to where the girls' dressing rooms were. And, I mean, the walls were very thin. I can't even tell you on the air some of the things I heard going on through the dressing room walls. Not that it was illicit or bad. I'm just saying conversations with their boyfriends or them gossiping together. So a lot went on back there.
Maybe a Price is Right reality show with the models is in store.
Maybe. You never know.
Now, we mentioned this earlier that on June 6, 2007, Bob Barker hosted his final episode of The Price is Right after 35 years of manning the helm of the longest-running game show in television history. What was the atmosphere like in the studio that day? Because I'm sure there was an electric feeling in the air.
Here it comes from the Bob Barker studio at CBS in Hollywood. Television's most exciting hour of fantastic prizes. The fabulous 60-minute Price is Right. Francisco Velasco, come on down. Kristen Bogey, come on down. Philip Barrett, come on down. And Denise Lebeque, come on down. You are the first 4 contestants on The Price is Right. And now, here is the star of The Price is Right, Bob Barker!
Yeah, you got to imagine now, before we let the audience in, there was probably 30 or 40 news crews in the pit, ready, waiting for Bob. There were people interviewing him backstage in his dressing room, taking their turns, each of them. So we didn't see Bob that day until I was dressed, suit and tie, makeup on, and he knocked on my dressing room door and said, Rich, well, this is it. Then I shook his hand and I said, Mr. Barker, you know, I don't know if I'm going to have a chance later, but I just want to thank you so very much for making my dream come true. Because it was a dream come true for me to work on The Price is Right and to work with him. And he changed my life. He changed my wife's life. And I wanted to make sure I got that opportunity to thank him. And he said, well, you earned it. And as long as I was going to be here, you were going to be here too. Let's go out and do a show.
Wow.
And the studio that day, the air in the studio was, you could cut it with a knife. A lot of people worried about their futures on the show. They worried about their careers, whether they were cameramen or grips or stagehands or prop people or set decorators or the announcer of the show. You couldn't help but think, golly, once summer is over, I wonder if I'm going to be back here ever again. Because you didn't know what the new regime was going to bring. You didn't know if the production company was going to clean house completely, whoever the new person was coming in, what they were going to do. And there was a long list of people that came through there, Bradley, auditioning. Some were absolute nobodies. Some were people like Mario Lopez and George Hamilton. And then, like I said, there were absolute nobodies that came through. You were like, why are they auditioning this person? We had no idea who was going to come in, and we had no idea what our jobs were going to be like. And it was a sad day, too, because we knew it was sad for Bob. We knew how much he loved that show. And we knew it was hard for him to step away.
Now, folks, I want to thank you very, very much
for inviting me into your homes for the last 50 years. I am deeply grateful. And please remember, help control the pet population. Have your pets spayed or neutered. Goodbye, everybody.
And contrary to a lot of things that have been printed, Bob stepped away. Bob never, ever was asked to leave. They begged him to stay. They begged him to stay every single season. Les Moonves would bring him up to his office in CBS, and they would beg him to stay. So nobody forced Bob out. There was never any talk like that at all anywhere. It was totally Bob's decision. And I asked Bob about that one day when he announced it to the staff a few months before it happened that he was going to leave the show. And I said, Bob, I went back to his dressing room. I said, may I ask? I said, Bob, why? What's happened now, after all this time? He said, Rich, I think at the time he was 80-something. I don't know. And he said, Rich, I got out of bed this morning like I do every morning, and everything hurt. My knees hurt, my hips hurt, everything hurt. And I said, what the hell am I doing this for? Why am I still killing myself? Because it's a grind, Bradley. It's hard. It would be hard for me to host that show, let alone to be 80. What is he? He's in his 90s now.
Yeah.
But it's a hard show. And you do 2 a day, 3 days a week. You have 2 days off, Thursday and Friday, and, of course, Saturday and Sunday. So you work 3 days a week. You're off for 4. And you work 3 weeks on, 1 week off. 3 weeks on, 1 week off, 3 weeks on, 1 week off, until the entire taping schedule's done. And then by early June, mid-June, you're done. We go into reruns for summer, and then you come back and you start taping again in August, just before September. So it's a grind. It really is.
Yeah, people think it's easy. Actually, ever since I was 7 years old, my dream in life has been to be a game show host.
You can do it. You can absolutely do it. And the younger you are now, the better. The days of guys like me hosting shows are done and gone. They want young millennials who can relate to the younger crowd. The younger crowd doesn't watch TV, so they're doing anything they can to get these millennials to turn on that box. The days of watching a TV are done and gone, and the networks know that. So young hosts are right up their alley.
I hope it comes true. I wish I would have known of the Price is Right auditions 10 years ago. I was a little young, but I wish I would have known. Maybe I would have came out to audition.
You'd have had as good a chance as some of those people that were out there, that's for sure.
Hey, that's a compliment. Thank you. What was your initial reaction when you found out that Drew Carey was picked to host The Price is Right?
Knowing and having done the auditions with every single one of the wannabe hosts, which was probably, we actually taped either fake shows. Well, they were all fake shows. None of them aired, actually. We probably taped fake shows with 10 people, I'd say, and not one of them did I think had a chance of ever carrying the show. They had a chance of getting the job, certainly, because you never know what executives are thinking, at Fremantle Media, who own the show. Oh, yeah, let's try this person. But there was one, actually, I'll say there were two. Mario Lopez could have done it. He was fantastic. He was personable. He was young. He was energetic. He could still be doing the show today. And another one walked in, didn't audition, but he sat in the audience with the president of CBS Daytime, and he watched a show one day, and I actually said to myself, oh, my God, I hope it's him. You want to know who that was?
Who?
Ryan Seacrest.
Really?
Ryan Seacrest, they courted Ryan to do the show. Why it didn't work out, I don't know if it was money or time for him or what, because, again, it is a grind. He still does that morning radio show, and now he's doing the old Regis Philbin job with Kelly Ripa, but I don't know about doing Price. And he was
still on American Idol.
He was still doing American Idol. So to be doing 2 shows a day in the afternoon for Price is Right, taping 2 shows a day, maybe it was just the grind. But I hoped and prayed Ryan would have gotten that job. But for some reason, he didn't take it. Mario didn't get it. And when I heard Drew Carey got it out of the clear blue, because he was never really in the mix, I'd heard about it over the summer. And when I heard Drew Carey got the job, I told my wife, I said, now, that's somebody who I think can carry the show. I knew he never hosted a game show before, but it didn't matter. We can teach him the games, which I did. I taught Drew near every game on that show. We would fly to Las Vegas and sit in a cabana out at the pool at the Hard Rock Hotel with a little laptop computer with DVDs of Bob doing the show, and I'd literally sit there and talk him through hosting pricing games and about how the camera isn't just the audience there. I mean, there's like 3 audiences. You got to play to certainly the camera, folks at home, but then you got to play to the folks sitting in the chairs in the physical audience, in the live audience, and then you have the contestants. So there's really 3 audiences you play to constantly, and you look from one to the other to the other to the other. And Drew, coming from a comedic shoot type of a show, the Drew Carey show, that was new for him. I mean, you don't look at the camera, number one. You act and you look at the actor across from you. Well, there's no actors on The Price is Right. So for him to pick up the concept of, wow, 3 audiences to play to, oh, my God, that was a lot.
As far as I know, because I read a lot about game show information like this, Drew was chosen to be the host of The Price is Right because he was able to pick up the rules of the pricing games fairly quickly, and he was good at explaining the games. And actually, Drew did host a game show before The Price is Right, which was also on CBS. Do you remember Power of 10?
Everybody, I'm Drew Carey. Welcome to the Power of 10.
Yeah, I do, and that's exactly why his name was thrown into contention. And the Power of 10 did very well, and the trend was going to comedians hosting shows. And now, as a matter of fact, I would give you this bit of advice, Bradley, as a wannabe show host. I would start doing stand-up, because that's what they want. They think that a comedian is well-rounded and can extemporaneously speak, and all these things that you learn in radio about carrying a radio show, about speaking extemporaneously or being funny and witty. For some reason, they think the comedian now is the track for game show hosts. So that's the advice I would give anybody who wants to be a show host of any kind, would be to get stand-up comedic experience.
Well, thank you for that. I have noticed that a lot of comedians are chosen out, from Howie Mandel on Deal or No Deal, Steve Harvey on Family Feud, Bob Saget when he hosted 1 vs. 100, Anthony Anderson is now on To Tell the Truth. So I have noticed the trend as well, and as a huge fan of the classic game show and the game show golden era, it is a bit sad and disappointing that the years of the common game show host is over.
Oh yeah, long gone.
Now, another famous announcer on The Price is Right was, of course, Roddy, who you mentioned before.
Now, I'm looking over here, and I see green, I see yellow, I see blue, and I see white. That must be Roddy.
It's me?
It is.
Yes.
Who's our player?
Well, let's see. How would you feel if I called down Luann Lyons? Come on down. You're the next contestant on The Price is Right.
When you took over for Rod, did you ever think about trying on any of his sequin suits?
It's funny you say that, because I own a bunch of Roddy's sequin suits.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah, I bought them from the executor of Rod's will. He's a young man that actually used to work on The Price is Right. He held cue cards and so forth for Bob and did jobs like that around the stage. His name is Lawrence Siegel, and he lives in New York. And Lawrence was the beneficiary of Rod's will for the most part. Certainly his house and all his clothing and everything like that. And Lawrence and I became very good friends. And one day Lawrence said, "Hey, you want to come over to the house?" And I said, "What do you mean the house?" And he said, "Rod's house." And I was like, "Oh, absolutely. I'd love to see where Rod lived. I just wanted to walk around." And so I'm over Roddy's house in Studio City with Lawrence, and he says, "Come on out in the garage. There's something I want to show you." And so we walk out of the house across the grassed area there to the garage under huge lock and key and security. And he opens up this garage and he flicks on these big fluorescent lights, 10, 20-foot ceilings, very high garage. And it was completely redone in there, Bradley. I mean, it wasn't some old cruddy garage that you would see in Studio City. It was really done well with brand new wallboard and all painted bright white and all completely lit up. And Bradley, there was rack after rack after rack after rack of sequin jackets on the top, all the way around the garage, all the way around. And the garage was a 2-car garage, so it was probably 18 or 20 feet wide by probably another 18 or 20 feet long.
Wow.
And the racks were on all 4 walls, all the way around the top of the garage, and all the suit jackets hung. Every famous color that you ever saw in your life and saw on the show. And there was a stick, just like you would see at like a clothier department, with a hook on it, and you would hook the hanger of the jacket you wanted, and you'd bring it down. Well, there was this big rack of suit coats on the top, and then underneath those, because the coats hung down maybe 3-4 foot, underneath those, hanging another 3-4 foot, was another rack of silk shirts, thousands of them. Every color of the rainbow and everything you could imagine. And you know how Rod used to mix and match rainbow sparkly colored jacket with a chartreuse colored silk shirt.
Sure,
and then every silk shirt on a rack below that had 2 ties. Every shirt had a matching bow tie and a matching necktie.
Wow.
And I stood there in awe. I couldn't believe it, with these bright white lights shining on all this stuff. It was sad, number one, because it really hit me. It was like, oh, my God, Rod is gone. He's off the planet. That's sadness right there. And here's the reminder right here. Look how many trips to Taiwan that he took to have these specially made. And that's where he went for vacation every year, a couple times a year, to have these things hand-sewn and specially made by little old ladies in Taiwan. I was in shock and awe. And I said, "Oh, my God, Lawrence." I said, "What are you going to do with all this?" And number one, he said, "I don't know. Do you want them?"
Wow.
And I was like, part of me wanted to say yes immediately. Then the other part of me was like, what the heck am I going to do with all this?
Yeah.
So what came out of my mouth was, oh, absolutely, I'd like to have at least one. And he said, take whatever you want.
Wow.
And I took that stick with the hook, and I started looking, and I just started seeing jackets I really recognized Rod constantly wearing or would wear regularly. And I got one that he called his Gay Pride Rainbow Sparkly Jacket. I took that one. Every thread in it, every sparkly sequin in it was a different color of the rainbow. I took that one. There was one that was a very bright electric blue sparkly, which I remember seeing Rod wear all the time. I took that one. And then Lawrence was like, why don't you take a couple shirts? I mean, take some matching shirts. So I took maybe 3 or 4 shirts that would interchange in and out of these 2 jackets with the included matching ties with them. And I still have them. I have them to this day. As a matter of fact, they are box framed in my studio that I'm sitting in right now. I'm actually looking at them right now on the wall.
Would you believe that?
Roddy jackets and shirts.
Forget Roddy shirts. I'm just in awe when I see a Price is Right logo on any shirt. And actually, as I'm speaking to you right now, I'm wearing my Price is Right t-shirt. So I'm just in awe of that.
Oh, nice.
But to see all...
I had so much memorabilia. Oh, you wouldn't believe what I have, man.
Wow.
I had 2 storage units in Los Angeles full of old games, podiums, memorabilia, cards, props, all kinds of stuff. You wouldn't believe what I had.
Wow. I'm glad that you're keeping the game show memorabilia tradition still going. You'll never get that stuff again.
I own the original podium.
Really?
The original announcer's podium. One of my first week or 2 at The Price is Right, Bob and I, we used to park behind Television City because they didn't want Bob walking past the crowds or anything. We parked out back by the commissary. And I had a great spot, and the announcer, my spot was right next to Bob's car. Also, a great spot right there, right as you walk up the ramp to the back of Television City. Well, very close to that, very adjacent to that, were these dumpsters for the commissary. And they'd always have cardboard boxes in them or whatever they unloaded from the commissary. And one morning, my car, and I saw a microphone stand sticking out of the dumpster. And I went over and looked at it, and I couldn't believe it. It was the old podium. It was the one I did my audition on. It was the one I did all my audition shows with Bob that aired on. And they built me a new one. They built me a brand new one. They encased it in gold flake and stuff to make it look nice. Well, here was the old one in the trash. Oh, man, I couldn't believe it. I walked right in. I walked into Bob's office. I knocked on his door, and as always, Bob, come on in. I said, Mr. Barker, well, good morning, Rich. Aren't you going to say good morning first? Good morning, Mr. Barker. Bob, what's on your mind? I said, Bob, I can't believe it. The podium, the original podium, is in the trash and back by the commissary. He said, what? Johnny Olson's podium, Rod's podium, the podium I started on. It's in the dumpster in the back. Well, that shouldn't be. That should be saved. I said, okay, well, I was going to ask you for it. I was going to ask you if I could have it. I was going to take it home. Well, that should be downstairs. That should be hooked up downstairs in the audience line, and everyone should be able to walk up to that microphone and say, come on down. I said, oh, my God, Bob, that's a great idea. Yeah, we should put that in plexiglass, he said, and just the microphone sticking out of it so it can't be ruined anymore. That should be down there like a museum piece. I said, okay, great. If that's what's going to happen, then great. But please, if it's going to be tossed away, let me know now before the trash guys come and that thing's gone. So we taped a whole show. Between shows, we go to lunch. Bob stops me in the hallway there at Television City between The Young and the Restless, Bold and Beautiful, and Price is Right. And he says, Rich, I've got some news for you about the podium. I said, yeah? He said, I brought it up to the people at CBS. They don't want it downstairs. So you know what? It's yours. I said, oh, my God. So I got a couple of stagehands. I immediately got it out of the trash right away. I put it in my dressing room because I didn't have a car big enough to haul it home or anything until I could make provisions to get it home. And I have it to this day. Again, it's here in my studio, in my home. I'm looking at it right now. The original podium from The Price is Right, I have.
Wow, that's truly amazing. And I could talk with you about your Price is Right memorabilia all day. I mean, I would never lose interest about talking about Price is Right memorabilia. But getting back to our conversation about the show's 45th anniversary, so many game shows come and go, but why do you think The Price is Right has been able to stand the test of time and remain on the air for now 45 years and still going strong today?
It works. It works on so many levels. When Mark Goods developed that show, he was a genius. He was a game show genius, number one. The whole pricing game idea was very catchy because here you have these housewives sitting at home who do all the shopping, literally playing pricing games at home on television. And Bob was a handsome man. I mean, the women loved him. So it was a combination of the show concept itself, the time slot, nothing really else was going to compete against it at all, ever, between 10 a.m. and noon. I mean, it was on at 10 a.m. at one time, and then it went to 11, but there was nothing that was going to compete against it. The soaps didn't start till noon, and you had this good-looking young man, Bob Barker, hosting the show, and he was so pleasant and so gracious. I mean, it just worked on so many levels. That's why.
Are there any moments that stand out to you, either from when you were on the show as the announcer or just being a fan all these years?
Yeah, I accidentally gave away a $57,000 Corvette.
Ooh.
Yeah, that was a bad day for me because Mr. Barker was a little peeved, and so was everybody else on the show. I revealed the price when I shouldn't have. It was an accident. It never should have happened. I was dealing with a script that was from rehearsal, not the show script that it didn't have the prices on it, and I accidentally gave the car away. So we stopped tape. I believe we retaped the segment, but the person got the car anyway because we had to.
Right.
Anytime there was a mistake, the mistake always was in favor of the contestant. Bob was big on that.
Well, of course.
Always.
I'm sure you've seen the fairly recent clip of Price is Right model Manuela Arbeláez revealing the correct price to the car during a playing of 5 price tags.
3 chances to give me the price tag to the Hyundai Sonata SE. 19,000, 21, 18,000, 20,000, 22,000. Which one is it?
19,849.
19,849. Go ahead, Manuela. Boom. No. Oh!
I won it!
Hey, congratulations, Manuela. Just gave you a car.
Yeah, that's happened many times.
Yeah.
That's happened a lot.
It's funny because when things like that happen, the news goes crazy with all that stuff. But I say to myself, if you're a true fan of this show, especially The Price is Right, which has been on for 45 years now, you would know that things like that have happened.
Yeah, during the Bob Barker era, we would stop tape, fix it, start tape again, and move on, and never show the mistake. Once Drew Carey took over, Drew was a big fan of, no. That's organic, man. That really happened. Let's show it. Let's make fun of it, then move on.
Right.
So the mistakes always happen, and happened since day one, but you never saw them until the Drew Carey era.
Right. Now, lastly, I know a few years ago you recorded a series of videos called Rich Field's Gone Wild, and one of the videos was with the legendary Adam West, who we recently lost.
Whoa! Adam West? I saw you playing that mobile device. It really looks like fun. I need to know what you're doing.
It's the new Price is Right game for iPhone, now with even more classic pricing games.
I think I got it, kid. Gotta have a shot at that.
What's in it for me, Adam West?
I'll let you drive my car.
Can I wear whatever I want?
You have any great memories of filming that video with TV's Cape Crusader?
Yeah. Well, Adam and I, we'd known each other for a long time before we filmed that. He really did that as a favor to me. We shared the same agent, Fred Westbrook from Kazarian Spencer Ruskin in Hollywood. And Fred introduced me to Adam one time, and Adam gave me an autograph. And anyway, to make a long story short, the idea of these videos came up. Adam, he jumped at it right away. He never balked at all, and he was totally game for it. There's something in contract someplace where he can't wear the outfit, he can't wear a Batman logo, he can't drive the car. So many little things that we had to work around to be able to get him in that sort of situation. So I couldn't even wear the original R of Robin. So if you watch the episode, I'm wearing a Price is Right tag that says Rich with a fake Robin outfit, and I was able to drive the car. All Adam could do was sit in the passenger seat, which worked. We just changed the script around and everything, but he was fantastic. For him, it was as if he was right back on Batman again, delivering those lines in the same pattern and cadence that he always did as either Bruce Wayne or Batman himself. He had a ball. That was an all-day shoot, man. That took a long time. I mean, not that time was wasted. The shoot and the crew was fantastic. Adam Margolis, by the way, was the director on that. He's fantastic, a really good director, young guy. His father was a famous director. His father did 1 million live event shows, Grammys, Emmys, stuff like that. Anyway, Adam directed that show and really plowed through the script, and we got that all out. My favorite part was, what do all these buttons do? And Adam says, just don't touch that red one. And I'm like, why not? And whew, shoots a rocket out of the back of the Batmobile and blows up one of the satellite dishes at CBS.
Showcase, showdown, baby.
Cool, I don't know what any of these buttons do.
Just don't press the red one.
Why not? Holy 3 strikes, Adam West.
I mean, if you haven't seen it, if you're listening to this right now, when you're done with the radio today, go to Richfield's Gone Wild on YouTube and check it out, or go to richfields.tv and you'll find the video there. It's Adam West and I just having a ball one day on the lot of CBS. Really a great guy. I miss him a lot. My wife and I cried when he passed away. It's just a huge loss.
Truly a legend in the television industry and the entertainment industry.
Yeah, so happy I got a chance to meet him and be a friend with him, because I watched him and Burt Ward every chance I could whenever the show was on. I love that show.
I absolutely love the Batman series as well. In fact, I don't watch many television series that aren't game shows, but the Batman series with Adam West and Burt Ward I've seen in its entirety over and over again.
Yeah, I also got a chance to meet Frank Gorshin, which is a famous comedian who played the Riddler on Batman. We all had the same agent, and that's how I got the chance to meet Frank Gorshin before he passed away, as a matter of fact. So just a huge treat for me.
Wow, truly incredible. Well, Rich, we've reached my favorite part of the game show. On every episode, I like to play a short original game with my special guest. So are you ready to play a game?
Yeah, what are we going to play?
Well, it's time for the Game of the Day.
Game of the Day.
And today's game is, of course, Price is Right themed. Go figure. And it's called Then or Way Back When. Then or Way Back When.
Then or Way Back When.
That's right. And here is how we play. This is a variation of the Price is Right pricing game, Now or Then. I'm sure you're familiar with that game.
Yeah.
So now the premise, for those of you listening who don't know what this game is, the premise of Now or Then is to decide whether the price given to a grocery item is the actual retail price of the product in the present, or was the price of the product at a given month and year. However, for this game, Then or Way Back When, I'm going to name a Price is Right pricing game, and Rich, since you were the announcer of the Price is Right from the years 2004 to 2010, you must tell me whether the pricing game I name first debuted then, meaning between 2004 and 2010, or way back when, meaning before 2004.
Oh, okay, I got you.
So in my hand right now are the names of 12 Price is Right pricing games, and all you have to do to win, just like when playing Now or Then, is to get 3 correct answers in a row. So once again, if you think the pricing game premiered between 2004 and 2010, your tenure as Price is Right announcer, say then. And if you think the pricing game premiered before 2004, say way back when. And to win, you must get 3 correct in a row.
Okay, and what does he win, Johnny?
You'll win more airtime.
Nice. Okay. That's what I need.
Are you ready to play?
I am.
Then let's play Then or Way Back When. And here comes your first pricing game. Rat Race. Then or Way Back When. So between 2004 and 2010 or before 2004, you say then. It is then, correct.
Ding, 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 ding.
Very nice dinging. I may not even need to use my sound effects because you're great at making the dings. I'll just have you do them. But yeah, you got it. The correct answer is then. Rat Race premiered on June 16th, 2010. And by the way, I don't know if you know this or not, but Rat Race was your final brand new pricing game when you were the announcer of The Price is Right.
Welcome to Rat Race. This is the brand new pricing game we have on Price is Right, Rat Race.
Oh, I didn't know it was the last one, but I do remember it during my reign. So, yay. That's one.
That's one. And you know what's funny? The first ever contestant to play Rat Race was also named Bradley.
Really?
That's right. So he got to hear Bradley, how about a new car? How was that? Was that good?
That's pretty good. That's really good.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate that. And hey, coming from you, that really means a lot. But if you don't mind, I think you should say that famous phrase to me now so that I can compare.
Bradley, how about a new car?
All right, I think I did pretty well if I don't say so myself.
You got to play with the words. You got to play with the words more, Bradley, and change them up a little bit. You know, like, Bradley, how about a new car? Or Bradley, how about a new car?
All right, that's what I'll work on. Bradley, how about a new car? That better?
There you go.
There
nice.
you go. All right. All right, so you got one. You need 2 more in a row. Next one is half off. Then or way back when?
Half off. I'm going to say then.
You are correct. It is then.
Yes. Ding, 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 ding.
Forget about announcing for game shows. I think you've missed your calling. You should voice these sound effects because your dinging is on point. And Half Off premiered on May 28th, 2004.
Ladies and gentlemen, Melissa is going to play a brand new game that we're adding to the show. We have more than 70 games already, but we keep adding new ones because we want to keep you interested. We have a brand new game, and the most interesting thing about this game is that you can win this.
A chance to win $10,000 in cash.
Yeah. You can win $10,000 playing half off.
And half off was actually your first brand new pricing game when you were the Price is Right announcer.
Ah, nice.
Okay, so we've covered your first and last brand new pricing game, so when a then pricing game comes up from now on, you know that the premiere date has to be in between the premiere dates of Half Off and Rat Race. So there's a little clue for you.
Okay.
Actually, if you get this one right, you win.
Excellent.
Simple as that. Okay, next one is Pushover.
Pushover.
Then or way back when?
10 seconds on the clock. Bradley, I'm going to say way back when.
For the win, it is way back when. You got it.
Yes.
Look at that. There you go.
I'd be a sad announcer on The Price is Right if I didn't know those, though, right?
That's right. Well, you've proven that you're a great game announcer, and now you just proved that you're a great game player.
Yeah, just a huge fan, man, that's all. Just a big fan of the show.
Pushover actually premiered way back on March 3rd, 1999. And Rich, since you won on the first 3 pricing games, how about we continue on and see how many more you can get in a row?
Okay.
The next pricing game is Stack the Deck.
Stack the Deck, that would have been then.
Then is correct. That's right.
Yes.
Stack the Deck premiered on October 9th, 2006. So that's 4 in a row. And the next pricing game is Flip Flop.
Oh, that's old. Way back when, Bradley?
Way back when is correct. That was February 25th, 2000. That's 5 in a row. Wow. Maybe you can get all 12. Next up is That's Too Much.
God, I can hear him screaming at the Bob. That's too much. That's way back when.
Way back when is correct. April 19th, 2001. That's 6 in a row. And here comes number 7 of 12. The pricing game is Gas Money.
Wow. I vaguely remember this when I was on. However, I think it was brought back. I think it was an original pricing game at one point. I'm going to say way back when.
Oh, no. That's wrong.
No? Oh.
It was then.
Shoot. All right. There were some games that were retired, but then they brought them back.
I think the one you're thinking of is Time is Money.
It's a brand new game here in The Price is Right. You're going to be the first one to play it. Very first one to play it. It's based on an old game we haven't had in years and years and years. And we reworked it. It's called Time is Money.
Oh, okay. That's probably right. Gas Money. Shoot. Doggone it. All right. It proves I'm not perfect.
Well, you're perfect in the announcing world. That's what matters.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that.
And just so you know, Gas Money first premiered on September 22nd, 2008.
Danny, you're going down in history today. You know why?
Why?
Because this is the first time we've ever played this. This is a brand new game on Price is Right. It's called Gas Money.
So you've won the game and you've gotten 6 in a row correct, but there are still a few more pricing games, so let's just see how many more you can get right. The next one is Triple Play. Do you remember that game?
I do remember Triple Play. Triple Play was way back when.
Way back when is correct. October 2nd, 2000.
We're starting our 29th year, and we wanted to do it with a lot of excitement.
Oh, I got it.
And I think you'll agree, Amber, this is exciting! A new car! That's right. Now, Amber, you can win that automobile. And you can win this. A new truck! That's right. You can win that car, you can win that truck, and Amber, as difficult as it may be for you to believe, you can win that! A new van! You can win all 3 cars. Now, it's a brand new game to start the 29th year called Triple Play. A Triple Play. Now, you're going to play a game with each of the cars. If you win all 3 games, you have completed the Triple Play, and you win all 3 cars. But If you win only one of the 3 games, no car. If you win only 2 of the games, no car. You have to win all 3 games to complete the triple play and win all 3 cars.
Okay, that's 7 out of 8, and the next game is more or less.
More or less, that's an oldie but goodie. Way back when.
No, wrong.
No?
It was then.
Really?
That's Bob's last pricing game that he created and debuted.
I'll be darned. I like that one.
More or less premiered on February 16th, 2007.
You see the sign behind the car there? More or less. More or less is the name of our newest game, and you're about to play it. First time on our show.
You mentioned that this game was an oldie but goodie, but I believe you may be thinking of Give or Take. That was an old game that was retired years ago.
Oh, yeah, give or take. Right, exactly.
All right, next up is Pocket Change.
Pocket change. Oh, that was definitely during my era then.
Then is correct. January 10th, 2005.
That is a Ford Focus, and I am going to give you a chance to win that Ford Focus playing Pocket Change. You what?
Never heard of it.
Of course you've never heard of it. This is the first time we've ever played Pocket Change on The Price is Right.
And next up is Freeze Frame.
Freeze frame. That's an oldie but goodie. That's got to be way back when.
Way back when is right. February 22nd, 1995. And if you get this next pricing game correct, you will have technically won 3 times. Coming or going?
Coming or going? That was during my reign. That would be then.
No. Way back
No?
when? No.
Oh, was that one of those they retired and brought back?
No, this came right before you, October 2nd, 2003.
It's a brand new game, Ari. It's a brand new game, and it's the easiest game you could play. You win if you know whether you're coming or going. That's all you have to know is whether you're coming or going, and you can win this game.
All right, that's all right. No problem.
But it doesn't matter. You won.
Nice. It's made my day.
Well, I'm so happy to hear that. And actually, you not only won, you technically won twice, as I said before, and you got 9 out of the 12 pricing games correct.
That ain't bad.
So that's 3/4 of the answers. So great job. And that
Thank
means,
you, brother. I appreciate that.
That means, Rich Fields, you've won some more airtime.
Oh, and that's what the people of Hofstra want to hear this morning.
Hey, if there are Price is Right fans and game show fans listening right now, I'm sure they wouldn't mind that because you are a pleasure to speak to.
Oh, thanks, man.
And that was the game of the day, then or way back when. Then or way back when. Well, Rich, I want to thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for being a guest on the game show today, and thank you so much for talking about the Price is Right with me.
Oh, it's been my pleasure, Bradley. You're fantastic. Everybody involved with the show there at Hofstra is fantastic. I really appreciate that. And it's been nice. It's been a nice trip down memory lane. I think about Price or Bob almost every day, but, to sit and talk in detail about some stuff, it was fun.
And here's to another 45 fun-filled years of the Price is Right.
Absolutely.
That's right. September 4th, 1972 is when it premiered, and on September 4th, 2017, 45 years later, Price is Right still going strong. And it's because of people like you.
I was only a little part of it. There's so many people involved with that show that make it what it is. It's crazy. It'd be hard to even list them all.
And thank you for saying to me, Bradley Clarke, come on down. That was truly a moment I will never forget, and it was a thrill of a lifetime.
Absolutely, my pleasure. Now you got to make the pilgrimage. You know what the pilgrimage is, right?
What is the pilgrimage?
The pilgrimage is to actually leave your home, whatever state and city, and go to Los Angeles and stand in line at CBS Television City and actually get on the show. That's called the pilgrimage. And until you do that, your life is not complete.
Well, for right now, at least my life is half complete. Rich, thank you again so much, and you're always welcome back on the game show to talk with me anytime you want about Price is Right or other game shows or any topic.
Thanks, Bradley. I appreciate it. I'll take you up on that sometime.
Awesome. Thanks so much. All right, take care, Rich.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye, Rich. Well, that's it for this episode of The Game Show, and a big thank you once again to former Price is Right announcer Rich Fields for being my guest and for making one of my dreams come true by saying,
Bradley Clarke, come on down.
I'll definitely be listening to that on repeat. Well, I hope you'll join me next time for another talk about game and competition shows right here on The Game Show. And there's only one way to close out a Price is Right themed show. This is Bradley Clarke reminding you to, well, actually, Bob, why don't you say it?
Help control the pet population. Have your pets spayed or neutered. Goodbye, everybody.
The Rich Fields announcing clips, as well as the Price is Right theme song, are courtesy of Rich Fields.
This edition of The Game Show was created and produced by Bradley Clarke and was recorded at the WRHU studios. This is Austin Angelo speaking.